The ABS holds onto this contaminated fluid, and that hidden grime can clog valves, corrode the pump, and leave you with expensive repairs or compromise safety right when you need your brakes most. Today I will show you how to do a complete flush so your entire system, master cylinder, lines, calipers, and ABS stays fresh and reliable. Welcome to Professor's Garage. In this video, we are flushing the brake fluid on the 2013 Toyota Sienna, plus bleeding the ABS system. Let's make sure this minivan stops as well as it drives. Let's get started. We'll be using a vacuum bleeder kit to pull all fluid and air from the caliper bleeder screws and a wireless OBD-II scan tool to cycle the ABS pump and valves so we can replace the fluid that is trapped inside the ABS. Toyota's own service procedure for the Sienna uses a near to far sequence, starting with the wheel closest to the ABS unit, which is on the passenger front, and working outwards. Front right, front left, rear right, and rear left. The idea is to push the cleanest fluid through the shortest path first, so each further line gets progressively fresher fluid. Some people use the opposite, far to near, thinking it's more thorough. It works too, but it may take more fluid and time. To be honest, if you keep the reservoir full and run enough fluid through, either way will get the job done. I will show Toyota's near to far order, but if you are doing far to near, just be patient. Now, if you are worried about this process draining the battery, you could get a battery maintainer, basically a 12-volt output, and connect to the battery terminal. Okay, so that you don't drain the battery. I put it in the maintainer's mode, so just in case it drops, this should be able to charge it. And so right now we are good. Let's continue the bleeding process. Now, when you hook up the scan tool, you will see steps with words like inhalation, increasing, and decreasing. Different scanners may use slightly different terms. It's just the way they translate it, but the idea is the same. Inhalation means the ABS pump is running and circulating fluid, pushing out bubbles. You will hear the buzzing. It's all pump, no brake pedal here. Increasing means you press and hold the brake pedal to build pressure in the line. Decreasing means the scan tool briefly opens valves to drop pressure, and that's when you crack open the bleeder to let all fluid and air escape. So don't get hung up on the wording. Your scanner might phrase it differently, but the process is basically pressurize, pump, and release. Here is the plan. I'll give you a quick tour of the overall and steps on each wheel, and delve into some details on the job. You only need to lift the side you are working on. No need to jack the whole car. You can either remove the wheel for better access or simply reach the bleeder screw from behind the wheel, underneath the car. Just make sure you have 100% safety support before going under. Before you even touch the first wheel, suck out as much oil fluid from the master cylinder reservoir as you can. But don't let it go so low that it pulls in air. Top it off with fresh fluid and keep an eye on it the whole time. At each wheel, hook up your bleeder hose and hang it up with a caliper hook so fluid flows up first. That way, if the vacuum pulls a little back, it won't drag air into the system. Then just follow the scan tool prompts. Pedal, vacuum, release, and keep the reservoir topped up. If you don't have a helper to pump and hold the brake, you can use a pedal holding tool or create one like what I did here. The two steps for inhalation and decreasing lines will activate the ABS pump and valve to move any old fluid out of hidden chambers. Repeat inhalation and decreasing for that wheel until fluid is consistently clean and bubble-free. Then proceed to the next wheel and repeat the steps. This is the setup. Whenever I press it, push the trigger. The screw on the bleeder valve on Toyota can vary in sizes, but this is an 8 mm. I put an open wrench, and then I'm going to just open the bleeder valve. Open it, and I think you should see the fluid coming out. Now let's give it a vacuum. And it looks like the vacuum is working. Fluid with no air bubbles. Now you can close it. The torque is around 7 pound-feet or 84 inch-pounds. Okay, we're now at the passenger on the right side front. We're going to unplug the bleeder cap. It's off. So put the cap on. I have a hook above so that the fluid is going up first and then go down. So in the front, this is the original equipment, 8 mm hex. Okay, so it should be good. First, I'm going to activate the vacuum. Okay, now we'll continue the ABS. And again, we're still on the passenger, the right side. Let's continue from here to activate the bleeding process. As I walked through the system, I actually ran about 60 ounces of fresh fluid through 2 full 32-ounce bottles. Normally, 1 bottle is enough. When bleeding through the ABS unit, you usually expect the old fluid to look pretty yellowish and cloudy, like what I've seen before on other vehicles. But here's a surprise. This Sienna's fluid turned out to be much cleaner and clearer than expected. The reason? Both rear brake calipers had been replaced by the previous owner, so a good portion of the system was refreshed not too long ago. So while the process itself is exactly the same, the outcome here is a little different than you might normally see. We are almost done, so let me share a few thoughts about this maintenance. Brake fluid replacement is more about time than mileage. Every 2 to 3 years is a good target because brake fluid is hygroscopic, meaning it absorbs moisture from the air. That moisture lowers the boiling point and can corrode internal parts, especially in the ABS unit where fluid can sit untouched for years. I've even seen this go horribly wrong. A friend's beautiful Mercedes GL 450 lost nearly all braking power because the ABS unit and brake lines had corroded from old fluid. The repair bill was so high that they ended up selling the car to the shop for just $2,000. Heartbreaking and completely avoidable with regular brake fluid and ABS maintenance. Once all wheels are done, double check the reservoir level. Tighten all bleeders to spec. Finger tight. And make sure the brake pedal feels firm before driving. Dispose of all fluid properly. It's nasty stuff. This procedure isn't complicated. It just takes a scan tool, a vacuum bleeder, and a little patience. For tools, you don't need anything fancy. I've shown the X-Tool A30M before. A solid all-around scanner works on pretty much any make and model. And you guys get 10% off through this channel. In this video, I'm using the Kimberlin Solo Scan, which is built specifically for Toyota and Lexus. They even make versions for other brands like Honda. It's budget-friendly. Sure, it's slower when scanning modules, but once you are in, it works instantly, even with ABS activations. I have no affiliation, but recently came across it. For the price, it's hard to beat. Both options give you what you need for ABS and brake work, so you can choose what fits your needs and budget. Because they are both wireless, you can activate ABS from underneath the vehicle. Let's start the car. And before you drive, press the brake pedal for many times until it's firm. Solid brakes, firm pedal, and a safe drive, all with fresh fluid and an ABS bleed. That's how it's done. If you found the video to be helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to Professor's Garage. If Professor can do it, you can do it. Until next time, may the Lord bless you and give you peace. And as always, stay dirty, stay safe. 平安。